Chris.
All right, so we're sitting here with Danni and Chris. Danni is my wife. I have a little bit of an issue with the co-host as of recently. I'm not going to stop the podcast. Just some things have come up. Dave's going to be unable to, work with us for, a while. So, to my left is my beautiful wife. Give them your elevator pitch, Danni.
Well, I'm pretty much, obviously, his wife. I'm not being forced to do this. I just so happen to feel bad enough to be his co-host for today. I'm a little awkward, so I apologize for that.
Today. All right. So there's a good chance that we're not going to talk about video games. I did reach out to somebody because I got an email from a fella named Isaac. And Isaac wanted to talk about Fallout 76. I had not played that, so I reached out to a man who runs a podcast called 76.1 The Vault. It's pretty interesting. He runs it like it's a radio station. But I'm going to go ahead and insert what he has to say to Isaac, and then we're going to drive this thing forward.
This is your best friend in the wasteland, howling Mad Dog Mitch Mormon. How coming at you live, 76.1 The Vault. And I'm doing somebody a favor today, boys and girls. That's right. Before you go give me that like on Facebook, 76.1 The Vault, make sure to send me an email. Let me know what you think of the show. 76.1thevault@gmail.com. Got a good question from my good friend Dave and Chris at WTF, Dave and Chris. They are a podcast. They talk about movies. They talk about VMAs. They talk about a bunch of shit I don't keep up with here outside the wasteland. But they're coming to you live. Check them out. WTF, Dave and Chris. Check them out on Facebook. They're on Twitter too. So they wanted me to give a review to one of their friends that wrote in. And his name is Isaac. And Isaac says, all right, so I'm not sure if you guys touched on this, but you guys should talk about the next upcoming fall update called The Wastelanders for Fallout 76 and what you think of the current state of the game is in when you hope for future of the game, and as well maybe some other time talk about next big update Rockstar has for RDR2 Online. Okay, buddy, let's proofread and let's act like this person doesn't speak your language very well, okay? But I understand. I have read up on the Wastelanders. I've read up on that patch coming out, supposedly patch 13. Now, my knee-jerk reaction. Please name me. Please, all the listeners, 76.1 The Vault, give me a break. When is the last patch that came out from Bethesda and you go, wow, they knocked it out of the park on that patch? So let's just think about that first, okay, buddy? But we're going to move on. We're going to talk about how they open the public events. You can now go to a public event. You don't have to pay that fast travel cap expense. You can just exploit that shit and move around as you want. And they're going to open up content, and I love it when they open up content. I love it when they make the game more user-friendly, right? So you will be able to open the map. You'll be able to look around. You'll be able to see, and, I couldn't tell if it was animated or if it was just a picture of the event because I was just looking at pictures, right? But there will be some greater illustration of a public event going on, and you will be able to fast travel to that. Do I think that's awesome? Yes. Do I think they're going to make it work on the first try? Now, that is a different question. And that's how it goes for all these things we look at from Bethesda. We love Bethesda. Praise baby Jesus Todd. We love what Bethesda does for us. But you got to keep in mind, they are not batting 1,000 on these patches, kids. And I remember reading months ago about, we're going to fix this. We're going to give you some stability issues, and we're going to take care of all these little problems. And that hasn't come yet. I'm waiting on that shit like Santa Claus. They're talking about UI improvements as well coming up in the Wastelanders. I don't really know anything about that yet. That will remain to be seen. I should probably mention at this point, I play from the PS4 perspective. I don't try to build gaming computers anymore every time the new shit comes out, man. That shit got too expensive. So I just went with the PS4. It's a console. All those hardware issues are someone else's problem. The loading screen showing you information about the event that you can fast travel to in these public events. A very good idea. Again, I hope it works. Oh, well, we didn't mean it would be for the event you were going to. We just added a loop of the events as they're coming up, so we just want to let you know about that. And you'll no longer drop your junk during the battles when you die in the adventure mode, trying to take care of one of these events. But see, you know what I see happening? I'll see you dying, dropping your bag of junk, and then still having your bag of junk on you, and now you dupe when you die. Right? So let's just all run up and piss off the White Spring Guards and stand around. Apparently they're adding some other, if you are in an event and there's a legendary and you do something, you might let a, maybe you don't get a tap in, right? Like, Scorch Queen's up. Well, that wouldn't be a good thing because that's not one of the events I was talking about. But let's just say that you're at a public event. You were there, maybe you got in there just a couple minutes after it started or whatever, and the legendary's there, and everybody's like, boom, 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 killing the legendary, and you're like, God damn it, I never got a hit on the fucking legendary. What the fuck? What? I don't get the fucking 1-star lead pipe of shittiness? Why not? I could have used that 5 fucking script, dude. So, apparently they're going to fix that. They're going to make it so you just got to be close by when that legendary goes down. You just got to go there and go tap him on the shoulder. Hey, man, look, I'm here. So when you die, the shittiest thing you have, just put that in right there in the inventory for me, okay? And maybe like 3 caps. So I can buy a stim pack later. You know what I mean? Right on. And they're saying this is still further down the road. Okay. So, Isaac, another part of your question was the state of things now. And I'm weaving this in here with the rest of what you're asking for, buddy. What I think you're asking for. Reading is fundamental, and that's one to grow on. So what you need to remember here is we're dealing with Bethesda, and Bethesda is the hot fucking girlfriend that you will put up with so much shit for. Okay? So, yeah, she's fucking crazy, but, goddamn, take a look. Son! So keep that in mind when you're listening to 76.1 The Vault, coming out once a week, usually twice a week, most of the time once every 10 days. Any way you slice it, lots of entertainment in the wasteland. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to toss it back to my best friends in the wasteland, WTF, Dave and Chris.
All right, so I want you to know, Isaac, that it might have been me who emailed the fella, the wrong words. I read it from you, and it seemed perfectly fine. So I do not hate on your grammatical errors that he tried to highlight. Other than that, though, man, I think he gave you a pretty good reply. I didn't want to give you some half-assed answer because I don't know much about Fallout 76. So it is currently 8 a.m., Danny and I woke up to do this podcast and go on with our day. What do we have planned today, Danny?
Well, we're supposed to be watching that new It movie today. But other than that,
I read that it is like the most rated, anticipated movie on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
No, Chris, that's all you. I'm just.
I normally like to start my day with a little bit of pick-me-up music. I was listening to some Kyle Scrooby. I think that might have annoyed her. I know she likes to start her day with pick-me-up music, and it's way different than mine. What are you currently rocking for your pick-me-up music?
Well, it's a mixture of things, but I really still be fucking with that MGK album a whole lot.
Hotel Diablo?
Yep, that's my jam, especially when I'm in a mood. Well, obviously Ariana Grande is my bitch, too. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I don't know. I have a bunch of music I listen to, but those are the two people I don't really skip a whole lot on my Spotify.
So last week, Dave and I got an email, and it was from this guy, and he actually asked for us to give our wife's input So I'll read to you some of the email. I'm not gonna read it all because some of it does seem a little personal, but maybe I'll just summarize it. All right. He says that he was engaged to the most beautiful woman he's ever met. All right, been there, man. Know how that feels. For about 6 months, we dated for about 4 years. Pretty lengthy time, but not, your whole life. So here we are, 2 months before the wedding, and he starts to notice some weird shit going on. Apparently his wife and his best man were texting a lot, which, I don't know, maybe that is weird. But he asked them what was going on, and they said that, it was just wedding planning. Whatever, he dropped it. I'll fast forward. I don't need to read your whole email. But the dude pretty much, he ended up catching them, screwing around. And he sent us an email asking what he should do. He wants to take her back. They've split up. They're currently on a break, as you would put it from the Friends episode. They were on a break. But, yeah, so she's cheating on him with his best friend, pretty much. And he wants to forgive her. He wants to wipe the slate clean. He wants my advice. He wants Danny's advice. He wants Dave's advice. Well, Dave's not here. So you're not getting Dave and you're not getting Jackie. You're getting Chris and Danny. So my advice is real simple. 4 years is not that long. Cut your losses. Drive on. And here's the woman's perspective.
Well, I want to clarify something before. Excuse me? Like a beautiful girl? You been there? No. I'm your only beautiful
That's
wife.
what I'm talking about. I've been engaged to a beautiful girl. You know what that's like?
I didn't cheat on you, dude.
I know you didn't cheat on me.
You have not been there.
No. All right. Let me clarify. I wasn't there at the cheating part. I was engaged to a beautiful girl for 6 months.
Yeah, and you're married to her, so...
Yeah. So I can relate all the way up to and then.
Your issue. So, I'm just going to lay it out. You were going to get married to her, and she's messing around with your best man. I mean, that's really hard to go back to. Personally, I would not go back to her because you don't want to build your marriage off of a lie like that. I mean, it's going to be in the back of your head if that was the only time they've done anything. It just so happens it's the only time you caught them. So I'm just going to say cut your losses. There's definitely other women out there. It might not be tomorrow, but I think you should probably marry someone that's not going to be based off of cheating. So.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, 4 years, rediscover who you are. Find out what you're interested in. I'm pretty sure she has no redeeming qualities.
Well, you don't know that.
Well, I mean, let's be real. If you put in one hand, she cheated on you with your best friend, and then you put all of her other qualities in the other hand, which one's going to go down as the heavier one? Probably the hand with the cheated on you with your best friend, right?
I mean, I wouldn't be very happy. I don't know.
If my wife cheated on me with my best friend,
yeah.
You can take 2 of the dogs. Kumar's mine.
Oh no, that's my bub. Sorry.
Yeah, we've had this talk before. If anything ever happened to us, which one of us is getting dogs? And them little trading bastards, man, they don't care about me unless she's not around. I am looked to as the food giver. That's it. I'm not the lover. I'm not the friend. I'm the food giver. So when she's not here, I get mad attention. But the moment she walks through that door, all that goes down the fucking drain.
But I will let you know, they all sleep with you, so...
Yeah, they do cuddle. They cuddle with me pretty well, and that's not because of me. That is because of her. She is not a cuddler. She hasn't been for the last 6 years, and I honestly, maybe I'd be jealous if she started to with Bub. Bub is Kumar, for those of you who did not catch that. He's a really awesome Chihuahua. So fucking gorgeous. He's a little fat.
I hate more than a little.
We like to look at him as well fed. He's a really awesome dog though. And then we have this really great golden poodle. Well, I mean, she's not golden. It's miniature poodle who happens to have golden hair. I did not know there was a difference between a golden poodle and a poodle with golden hair. But she is adorable. She's just a cute. Even when she has her hair growing out, and she looks like an angry old man, she's still adorable. If you guys want to see what our dogs look like, I would gladly post them to the page because I love showing off my animals.
And you forgot Sam. He don't really care about a whole lot about
Sam. All right, so here's how Sam was found. Remember a couple weeks ago when I told you guys how we live out in the country and there's a lot of Amish people. So I think, and it's cool to say that because Amish aren't going to listen to this anyway.
Stop.
I'm pretty sure we stole Sam.
Legally, I did the right thing.
We did do the right
I
thing.
reported it to the dog warden, and he said I could keep him. And I reported to the Welfare League and said if an owner ever decides within the 2 weeks legally that they claim this dog, I will give it up. But
So we
no
found-
one claimed the damn dog.
We
so
found
it's mine.
Sam and apparently his sister. We found them both together at the end of a driveway, but we didn't realize it was the end of a driveway. We weren't even thinking about that. We were thinking about these two dogs that were about to get
They're
hit.
out in the middle of the road.
They were on State Route 88 here in Ohio. That's a pretty busy road, all right? And my wife, because I'm driving home from work, and she makes me stop the car with people behind me. She makes me, she didn't make me do the rest. The rest was on me, but I open my door and I hold my hand out like I'm some kind of stop sign. Like these motherfuckers are going to stop for me, you know?
They're gonna
And then
hit 'em.
I scooped up Sam and his sister. We sometimes wish we would have kept the girl, but Kumar, you know how dogs are, man. You know how they are. Kumar's a dude. She was a girl. Kumar wasn't fixed. It was a little awkward.
Yeah, very awkward.
It was like that Daniel Tosh joke. I'm gonna get that baby.
Stop.
So here we are. What is it? Saturday morning.
Yeah.
We're gonna go see it sometime today. Just want to give you guys a podcast. I want to keep this thing going. We don't know
I'm
what.
not sure a whole lot about the gaming aspect of it. If I'm still on, I mean, I like certain video games, but I'm not in any way a gamer.
So yeah, if Dave decides that this might be too much for him, we're probably gonna move forward, and we're probably not gonna have the games. Now we can still talk technology.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the new technology and stuff, but video games in general, if you want to talk about only Fallout 4, I'm your girl.
Yeah, she's a big Fallout fan. Well, I mean, we both played Trover Saves the Universe, and we both like that. What's that one? Borderlands. Yeah. But for the most part, her and I are not video game people. We don't. We both work midnight shift, and she works 6 p to 6A. I work 7 p to 7A. The last thing you think about on your days off is playing a game, really.
Yeah.
How often do we throw the PlayStation on?
Not very often, especially when you have other shit to do.
Well, I do know that when Dave was here, I was all excited about getting Call of Duty. I'm still doing that. I'm not going to cancel that.
I know.
And I am still getting the Google Stadia.
Mhm.
It just turns out that Danny and I will review it. And so I don't know how this is going to go going forward. I don't know if Dave's coming back. I know he's busy right now, and I know that he plans to come back, but there's really no official word. I don't know how Danny's going to feel doing it, but I do know that if every other week or every week, if I can get Danny or I can get Bob, we're keeping this thing going.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I'm only doing this for you.
She's easing into it right now. I can
Yeah.
see she's getting more comfortable. It's not really that big of a deal.
Like
She-
Dave, I do have a lot of anxiety, but
More or less when we're in the car.
yeah, the car is like the worst part. I can drive myself, but when Chris drives, especially like on highways or anything, I don't trust him. This guy is crazy with driving.
So a couple weeks ago, I tried to get her to record a little snippet, and she was just like all against it. She did not understand how we could sit here and talk at nothing. But she's doing pretty fine. So, I mean, there's that. I'd like to give her a round of applause for that, right? Alright, so I know I'm super cheesy with these fucking sound effects, but it's whatever, because this is my show, and I'll be as cheesy as I damn well please, alright? I know I've mentioned to you guys before that Danielle is a nurse, alright? She's an RN. So she decided that one of her topics for today is going to be on the CDC with the vaping thing. What's going on with that?
Well, I mean, you know how back a couple years ago, they would say, oh, you should just quit smoking and start vaping because there's no like harm in vaping.
So what are they saying? Going back to cigarettes now or what?
Well, they're saying try to avoid your vape unless you really need to. You know, the ones that are dependent on the nicotine obviously aren't going to like stop vaping. But, you know, there's now cases of people getting these respiratory illnesses and like dying from them. And basically, I've seen that possibly could be from a vitamin E derivative, but they're still not sure. So honestly, the CDC's like, hey, there's something killing y'all from these vaping products, but we're not sure. So avoid vaping until they figure it out. And they even asked the like Juul and other like vaping endorsers to quit advertising until they figure out what's going on,
shit.
which
it's really hard to get, you know, companies to stop advertising. That's how they make their money.
Yeah, but, you know, it's also bad press that now vaping's trying to kill you, too. So, you know, I mean, I used to smoke, 14 years, and Chris smoked, I think, longer than that.
Yeah. We saw a billboard that said, every attempt that you fail is still an attempt that you tried. You're one try closer to quitting.
So, obviously, we haven't smoked for over a year. I don't know if you guys can hear. My dog is trying to break down the door.
Yeah. So, hold on. I'm just going to go ahead and you keep on talking, Danny. I'm going to let Bub in here. He can come have a conversation with us.
So, I mean, I'm not saying quit vaping, but I'm just trying to educate whoever's listening. I really don't know how many listeners this podcast has right now. That if you want to look more into it, you can always go onto the CDC website or, I don't know, just Google it yourself. But that's all I have to say about the vaping.
Man, I tell you what, it is so annoying when these dogs think that we're doing something super exclusive and they're out there whining. So Bob is in the room with us. He's looking at us like, what are you guys doing? And we're recording. I had to lock up Sam and Minnie. Those are the most energetic dogs, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, he woke up to throw up on the floor this morning. He's been, what's he been doing? Eating plastic toys?
Well, it's not just plastic toys. It's one plastic toy in general. These damn plastic, like, boo-boo keys that I give, like, Minnie, which she used to eat. Now, he steals them from her and, like, rips them to pieces and eats them. And then he wonders why he throws up all these little plastic pieces. So he's not allowed to have any more plastic, anything.
Oh, no doubt, because, I mean, and it doesn't come on for 12, 13 hours. So he'll eat it, and then 13 hours later, he'll throw it up. So sometimes if he's eating at 7 p.m., what's he doing at 7 a.m.?
Well, at least he gets off the bed.
Well, I mean, sometimes you have to force him other times.
Yeah, because he goes...
Yeah, and then you walk out into the living room, and you look at the couch, and you see fucking Harold, the cat. He's had another hairball. So it's just animals, man. I mean, I'm never going to say animals are as hard as kids, but animals are pretty hard. You got to have the right heart to raise animals.
Yeah, because they really be trying to piss you off. I swear they try, but they're still our babies.
All right, so Danny, she's going to validate something. I know that some people think the autographs are fake or whatever. How long have I been doing this hobby?
I mean, maybe
a year. A year?
Yeah, I mean, that's when you started, like, collecting,
I don't know what it was.
Two
I think maybe Elvis Duran shirt or maybe the 21 Pilots, CD that I got signed. Whatever it is that I got signed that really clicked it or hit it into gear. I think it was the Elvis Duran shirt, honestly.
Yeah, it could be. It was like an addiction, like
instantly. Instant
addiction,
man. It is so cool opening up some packages that just have, like Todd McFarlane, most awesome autograph you will ever look at. So I had to get that.
I couldn't even yell at him though, because he got me some cool signatures, like the Richard Dreyfuss. Like, I'm a big Jaws fan. It's like my all-time favorite movie. So I mean, I have the little Funko Pops and his picture where he's like seeing the tiger shark. So.
What else? Cool. Who else did I got you? I got you quite a bit.
Well, you got me
actually.
the Ariana Grande. I have 2 of those.
Supernatural.
All of them. I love them.
What was the most recent one that I got you? It was a multi-pack, but it was like the top, the best. What was that?
I mean, I'm a big fan of the Homicide Hunter, Joe Kenda. He's like...
Oh, no shit, yeah. I had to do some research for that, man. That's whenever I discovered Twitter, actually. And I tracked down that Carl Marino, who acts as Joe Kenda. and I had actually I saw him posting these things about, hey man, you wanna signed pitcher? Donate to the Malia Health Fund or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it. Whatever.
I don't know.
Whatever the health fund is, I donated to the health fund solely to get my wife a Joe Kenda autograph. It wasn't around our anniversary, was it? When did I get you that?
I don't remember, Chris.
How long have we been together, Danny?
Over 6 years.
When did we get together?
April 25th of 13?
Whoo!
I think.
Look at that, man. Tied me down.
Ugh.
Alright, so I've noticed recently in the Hollywood world that my favorite bromance is Pete Davidson and MGK. I mean, it is just such a phenomenal bromance. I want to know, well, I mean, MGK and Youngblood also have a, they also have a pretty awesome bromance. But
I'm going to say Pete Davidson and MGK are like my favorite because they just, every time you see them together, they just work so well together. They're super funny.
So I started reading about a film called Big Time Adolescence. It went to Sundance earlier this year. And you didn't read much about it after that. I just knew I was hooked. I'm like, man, I want to see this fucking film. Well, Hulu, for the small cost of $4 million, has made that possible. I don't know when we're going to get it, but I'm pretty sure Danny and I are both going to have ourselves a little date night, and we're going to see a little bit of romantic action with Pete Davidson and MGK. How do you feel about that?
I'm pretty excited. I mean, I didn't even know. Chris could have told me, I don't know if you noticed, but Chris does more of the talking, especially in our relationship. I'm a listener. That's why I'm a nurse.
Yeah, but she really doesn't listen. It's more or less in one ear and out the other. Because there's certain things like,
not true.
It was 2 podcast episodes that I had talked about the price being $200 for Call of Duty.
Okay.
And then one morning she's like, how much is that Call of Duty, by the way? And I was like, $200. And she just started smacking me. So she, sometimes if she doesn't want to hear it, she ain't listening.
Well, when you talk, and it's about just random ass shit, I kind of I don't tune you out, but I don't know. I'm not much of a talker all the time. I'm a very good listener. Maybe that's why we work together, because Chris loves to talk. He can talk all the time. Honestly, I don't even know why he needs a podcast partner, because he probably could do this on his own.
Well, I don't know. I remember that 10-minute snippet. It was really hard for me to keep that going. I need the other side to kind of push the thing forward.
He needs me to be here.
I'm here for you to mentally support you and your decisions.
I just bring some commentary into it.
If you're here because of the one shout out that the Brooklyn Boys gave us, Danny is also a big Brooklyn Boys fan. So yeah, that's awesome. It's really, my wife and I both listen to podcasts. She doesn't do it because she wants to. She does it because she's with me. And I'm obsessed with podcasts. I think music is great. In the music world, there's so much going on right now. But if you're ever just bored of the same old shit, throw on a podcast, preferably WTF, but listen to whatever you want. Yeah. I mean, what are you listening to on your ride to work?
I'm not going to lie. I listen to music. I have to get into a mindset for 12 hours. You don't know what you're walking into.
Yeah, she wants that hype me up shit. I'm icy. You know, Logic.
But there's a lot of crap I have to deal with. I mean, for people that aren't familiar with the medical field, you just have to get into that mindset. It kind of feels like you're going to jail sometimes for 12 hours.
Everybody feels that way about their job, but I can concur. Her job seems pretty shitty sometimes.
If you have very good patience, it's awesome. You don't even have to think about it. But when there's some patients that, and I don't like to talk a lot of crap, but they just are there to make everyone either miserable or they don't know any better. So I don't know. I need some music to get me hyped. I mean, I enjoy listening to some podcasts, but that's not what I want to listen to on my way to my job. But Chris is different, but I like my music.
I will listen to podcasts for 12. All right. Audacity just crashed, so we're picking back up from where I think we were talking about podcast. I don't know. Anytime something doesn't go my way, I kind of freak out for about 5 minutes. So we're 5 minutes into the future. And we're done talking about podcasts. I do, since Danny is here, and she is a medical expert. I like to call her
I'm
that.
not an expert.
She's very humble on herself, and that's great.
I'm still not an expert. I'm just the one I'm the help.
All right. So, they've recently arrested that fella for selling Mac Miller those lace pills with fentanyl.
Which today is the 1-year anniversary of his death.
Yeah, sad. That is horrible. I do know that they're actually planning on the Blue Slide Park. I do think it's today that they're gonna have an event. Memorandum or a memorial or whatever.
Memorial, I think.
So, the guy who sold him the pills. How do you feel about that? Do you think that it's a shitty debate, and because it's Mac Miller, people are gonna say that fuck that guy? But think about the other people. Think about the people who aren't famous who buy these lace pills and OD. All right.
True.
Now, do you feel anybody who buys a pill and ODs, their drug dealer should be arrested and thrown in jail?
I mean, if they're making these pills and they know they're laced, I think that yes, they should get some sort of repercussions on them. Like,
now you got I'm not a devil's advocate. I'm just saying you got the side of the argument who's saying, well, they're choosing to put the shit in their body, okay? And it sucks because what they're choosing, like Mac Miller's case, he thought it was oxycodone, so he was choosing to put maybe like an IR30 in his body and not 500 times your dose of heroin. And I get that, but do you agree with the whole they're choosing to put it in their body?
Well, when you don't know, I think it was fentanyl that was in
which
his
is a
pill.
crazy fucking drug.
I mean, I've messed with, like, not in the hospital, and we usually have the IV fentanyl. We don't, like, give it a whole lot, but that's some crazy shit right there. And the fact that you're putting these in the pills and stuff, yeah, it's gonna fucking kill someone. I don't know. I don't feel like Mac thought there was fentanyl in it, and
no.
He wasn't like...
No, I definitely feel like he was probably drowning in a little bit of depression because they said they found cocaine, they found marijuana, and they found the fentanyl. So, and Xanax, I believe.
I don't know.
I don't remember exactly what they found. But yeah, he was, drowning in a little bit of depression, wanted to, stop that pain, I guess, temporarily. And he probably just wanted his normal, every druggie, I'm not saying he was a druggie, every drug user has their normal go-to drug. And he probably thought that's what he was getting. So I don't doubt that this guy sold him something that he was not aware he was getting sold. But what's the guy's name? His name was Cameron James Pettit. Is he the sole cause for Mac Miller's death?
I don't think the sole cause. I mean, you put a pill in your body and you're trying, he knew he was trying to get high. Like, there's always repercussions from using drugs, and I'm not saying that, I'm not condemning them, is what I'm trying to say.
This isn't we're not putting them down. This is with every bit of respect for any human being. If you're doing it, you know that that's one of the side effects. Death is one of the effects of being an avid drug user.
Yeah.
It's happened more. It's 68,000 Americans a year. That is what the overdose rate is. That's fucking tremendous.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't really have a whole lot more to say about that. I'm not that, like, knowledgeable in the drug world. I mean, I know the medical side of it, but
we're just gonna drive it forward. What have you been looking at in the news recently? What do you want to talk about on your debut podcast episode?
Well, it's not like I need to talk about it, but I was just looking at the news today, and I know we fuck with Cardi more than Nicki Minaj.
Oh, no doubt.
She, like, stated that she's quitting rap right now.
You don't do that on Twitter. You don't retire over Twitter.
I don't know if it was Twitter. I was reading it, like, on Twitter.
Well, yeah, so she made a post to her Twitter.
Oh.
She said, I have a family, blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
you haters will like that pretty much. I think she's trying to get a rise. I think she wants the attention to focus on her for a little bit because, let's face it, man, when Cardi stepped into the game, the camera shifted from Nicki and veered left to Cardi. And Nicki might not like that. It's a hard pill to swallow knowing that you're not in the spotlight.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know where I stand on. I'm not a Nicki Minaj fan. Never have been. I will choose.
I mean, I used to like listen to her old music. I'm not gonna lie.
I will choose Cardi B.
Cardi is
as the up and coming. Like,
she just gets me hype.
Her music, yeah, is hype. It's rowdy.
Yeah.
Raunchy. I mean,
things I'm not.
Cardi she's got a good career ahead of her, and she's definitely surpassed that 15 minutes that people thought she was gonna have.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm rooting for her. I've been on her side for quite some time. They're both from New York, I believe. So let's talk about New York a bit. New York, it's no secret, they have a rat problem. If you've been in New York ever, you probably saw a rat. I mean, there was that one picture where the rat was carrying a pizza. Remember that?
Yeah.
All right, so they've actually found something that they're planning on being their resolution. There's a device. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's called the Accomaly or Ecomil. Accomaly is how I'm kind of seeing it. Ekomille. All right. Who cares who it's created by? Not a big deal. But what it does, it attracts these rodents with food, all right? So whenever they climb up this ladder and get the food, it opens a latch and drops them to like a drop door. It drops them into a bucket of alcohol that drowns them. So is that what is that? You're not getting a painful death?
Oh, I mean, drowning kind of sucks.
But you're drowning drunk, right? I mean, I guess.
I don't know if you'll be drunk enough to like get the effects before drowning.
So here's what it says. It knocks them out, and they drown eventually.
Oh
they don't drown instantly. They drown.
So basically, they tire themselves out trying to swim in alcohol. I don't know.
The rodent feels safe and secure within a device.
Oh, they feel
the
safe and
transparent
secure.
cover provides natural light. The natural non-toxic solution in the tank renders the rodent instantly unconscious.
Who cares if it's non-toxic? You're trying to kill it anyways. Like,
yeah.
what?
I don't know. Humane. Let's try to be as humane as possible.
Let's drown them some fucking alcohol.
Let's be. Rat is.
You
got a rat in your house. It's smashing to death. I don't care. I don't want rats. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand why they're saying no, the non-toxic stuff. You're trying to drown the motherfucker.
All right, so I was reading more about equality. I kind of like that. That episode actually got quite a bit of views. YouTube it's like 130, not much, but on Spotify it got well over the 500 view range. So I'm gonna talk about equality one more second. And I really wish I would have found this article last week, but I don't think it happened last week. It wasn't done yet. 2 women have accomplished something that has never happened in the U.S. military. Well, at least they don't think it's ever happened. 244 years. They're not sure if this has ever happened. I'm pretty sure it hasn't because it would have been bigger at one time. Major General Maria Barrett and her younger sister, Brigadier General Paula Lodi, are each accomplished in their own fields, but together they have become the first 2 sisters the Army believes to attain the general's rank in the service's 244-year history. So that's really cool. General, man, that's a really high fucking rank. And to have 2 in the same family, what the fuck? Those are some, man, that's crazy. I wouldn't be able to talk to them like this. It'd be yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You automatically throw up the hand. Yes, ma'am. But that's awesome. I'm proud of them. That's cool. I don't know them. I think it's awesome that they did it. General, that's prestigious. Way to go. So, I was reading about Joker. It's called Joker. It's not The Joker. It's Joker. I don't know what film festival it was. I don't remember the details. But it got an 8-minute standing ovation. And that's pretty impressive.
It's pretty freaking long standing for 8 minutes.
Yeah, for clapping for 8 minutes. That's gotta hurt your hands, man.
Yeah.
This side, you clap so we can take a break. All right, now you guys clap so we can take a break. Yeah, that's just 8 minutes is a long time.
30 seconds would probably be good.
But nonetheless, that makes me want to see the movie just that much more. I don't know. I'm
not standing for 8 minutes clapping though. That's not
Joaquin
happening.
Phoenix. I don't know much about his repertoire.
I don't know what that is.
I want to see it. I watched the trailer. He's got a really awesome laugh. I think this is going to be one of the best movies that depicts the Joker. I know that people, oh man, how are you going to say that with Heath Ledger? I'm not really that big of a Heath Ledger fan. I do believe he played Joker pretty well, but I also think the reason that Heath Ledger's Joker is so successful is the depth behind it. You know what I mean? Like,
and he was freaking creepy.
Well, they say, you know, that acting might have driven him mad. Because he used to put it, like, he would envelope himself into his character. He would go all out. Like, I heard, like, Jared Leto for Suicide Squad. He would, like, try to put himself in the mind of a Joker, a crazy maniacal person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. My wife here, she has these things called charm bracelets. I buy them for her. It's through Pandora. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, mine are from Pandora. There's other charm bracelets from other, like, obviously brands, but mine is from Pandora.
All right, so somebody's recently uploaded a how-to tutorial on how to clean it. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, ladies, stop buying that jewelry cleaner that they're selling at €5, because this was a European article I was reading. €5 is what it costs for you to buy a bottle of the jewelry cleaner. So the video says to take a small amount of dish liquid, all right? Like Dawn, preferably. Dawn's probably the best out there anyway. And, you know, mix that in with a little bit of lukewarm water. And then you'll soak your jewelry. Using a small, soft toothbrush, you will then gently scrub away any dirt. I don't rock jewelry except for my wedding ring. How hard is it to clean jewelry, Danny?
I mean, it just depends on if it's diamonds or pearls are hard to clean. Like, you don't want to get those wet. I don't know. It's very hard to get your jewelry cleaned, and I don't know much about the charm bracelets because I don't honestly clean mine because I don't wear mine as much as some of these people do. Like, I wear mine once every couple months. So I'm going to say it's very hard to clean them. I get my rings cleaned every 6 months, and I feel like I need to clean them in between.
I don't have a Tom McDonald rant this week. If anybody was offended by it last week, whatever, don't care. I do like ranting. I like venting. I like getting it out there. So if you guys want to hear more of that, man, I have a lot to bitch about. You know, for instance, getting a text message about maybe not showing up to do the podcast. I'm joking, Dave. I'm fucking with you, buddy. I'm going to bust Dave's balls nonstop, probably for the rest of my life.
Stop.
So, what was I reading? The 40th anniversary of the Sony Walkman. That is pretty cool. The Sony Walkman was a cassette player.
Oh,
remember?
okay.
All right.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. That's how old I am.
So if you want to feel like you're in that movie or the show Stranger Things, go ahead and buy yourself the 40th anniversary. It is designed to look like a cassette player. It even has like a very small screen. You know, like the little window that you could see your cassette through on a Walkman. So it has a small screen that is actually like an LED screen that has all the the updated features. It does lack a SIM card, or why would it have a SIM card? I mean, that's stupid. I think what they meant to write in this article was that it lacks an SD card. You fuck. All right. That just bothered me. Why would a fucking Walkman have a SIM card? All right, so SD card. You can't upgrade the memory, pretty much. No expandable memory. It's a 16 gigabyte device, so you'll probably get like 15.4 after, all the factory shit is on it. It is capable of connecting to Wi-Fi and uses Android apps. So, 3.6 inch touchscreen. That's kind of big. Not. Huh. All right, whatever. The device has a screensaver that looks like an old school cassette player, except the color changes depending on what type of music is playing. Woo. A soft case comes with it. Looks every bit like an old Walkman. If you can't get Spotify on it and then if you could put Spotify on it and then download your music to Spotify, that would be great. That'd probably, so this might actually be worth your investment. I don't know the price because I'm just here to tell you what it is. I'm not here to tell you how much it cost. Drive forward. Did you read about Flume?
I did not, but you told me yesterday,
and
I'm disgusted.
Her and I love going to concerts, but if I ever witnessed something like this, I would just be appalled. Burning Man. I've never been to Burning Man. I don't know. I don't
really plan on going.
Is it a festival?
I think it's like a either a weekend long or a week long.
The only festival I
plan
plan on ever going to will be Fest here in Ohio, MGK. I've actually been told we should have went whenever it was right down the road.
Yeah.
He used to have it at Nelson Ledges, I think twice.
Yeah.
All right. And then obviously
Where
some
was it,
contractual
Burton?
issues. No. It's somewhere far. Burton, Ohio.
It's not that far from us.
Wherever it is, I want to go to it. Eventually, we will get to it. Maybe next year. If anybody out there wants to send me 2 VIP tickets,
that's not happening.
you can. Oh. She won't let you, but you can. No, I'm just fucking with you. I like making those jokes. I'll never ask my fans to buy me anything. So if you hear me joke about it, just assume it's a joke. All right. But so Flume was on stage. And I'm going to try not to be vulgar.
Yeah, let's try not.
All right, so, fuck it, man. He was eating his girlfriend's asshole out on stage.
Oh, my God, Chris.
All right? And that's pretty vulgar. I get that. But that's the only way you can say it. I mean, it's fucking disgusting. It's why would you do that? What would possess somebody to do that?
I think it's just to get attention. Honestly.
I really hope her parents aren't privy to the technology and able to read this, because that's fucking disgusting. I would be very disappointed in my daughter if I had read something like that.
Oh, my daughter, Paul.
All right. Whitney Houston. There's a Whitney Houston hologram tour going on. I'm not a fan of these hologram tours.
No.
What the fuck are you paying for?
Well, the experience.
The experience to see what? A fucking LED projector?
I guess is some people.
Do you want to go?
No, I'm not. I'm not a Whitney Houston fan.
I don't even know one song by Whitney Houston.
I
will always. Is that her?
I don't know. Stop singing.
We are going to see Logic here in November.
Yeah.
Pretty hyped up about that. Danny actually has this awesome plan, and I can't say it because I don't want any of you guys to steal it, but it is fucking legit. All right. But I was reading. So I used to love Logic's his relationship with his ex-wife. I thought it was just adorable. And then he got big. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like him getting big is why he left her. I pointed out a lyric to Danny that he had in a song with Big Gigantic. And he even said something like, why would I want you? I'm way too big for that, or some shit like that. It's just weird. Like because the timing that this song dropped and the timing that he split, it was really, close. So now he's married to another woman who he discovered. She actually sells these unwanted CDC vapes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, well, she's probably not no more. She's married to fucking Logic.
Yeah.
So she probably doesn't even work. But she is pregnant, and they are married. And congratulations on your baby. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, some people are still pretty bummed out about the whole split. And I don't know the details. So maybe, in a different world, I would have probably done the same thing. But that's your ride or die, man. She was there. I mean, you stalked this girl. You forced her to like you. You know what I mean? So to just kick her to the curb whenever you get those riches that she was with you to work for, it's kind of fucked. I don't know.
I agree.
So yeah, we're going to see Logic. We're going to congratulate him on his baby.
Mm-hmm.
More autographs in the future. That Billie Eilish. Awesome. Whoever wants to win that, gotta subscribe and listen.
Yep.
I recently got that one by Gerard Way, the Umbrella Academy. If anybody, Danny and I are gonna talk about that here soon. Umbrella Academy is a wonderful fucking show.
Oh, I can't wait till they have another.
Season 2, man.
Season.
I love the show, and it's awesome. And I didn't know that Gerard Way was the lead singer of My Chemical Romance. That didn't even. So any of you guys who don't know that, the autograph that I'm giving away it ties into My Chemical Romance because it's the lead singer's signature, but it also ties into the Umbrella Academy because it's original artwork by him. So that's pretty fucking cool. Honestly, if nobody wins it, I'm not going to be upset. Shit, what other? I don't think I have too many more autographs to give away. I got High Res. Oh, High Res. So that shit with that Hurricane Dorian.
Oh, God, I forgot about
High Res extended a helping hand. He put out a message that said, I will help anybody who needs help. And would you believe it? Somebody tried to abuse that fucking help.
Oh, no, not the Americans that we...
Yeah, no, I was so baffled. Somebody hit this man up
You better hit him up.
And
He needs some money.
And said that, my family's over there struggling and I need your help. And this dude, fucking, I don't remember what state high res said he was in, but he was nowhere near the hurricane. But this dude was demanding that high res send him money. What the fuck, man? How do you abuse that?
Because these greedy, selfish people.
That's crazy, though.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Not the least bit.
Anybody who is currently listening, here in America. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I listen to, I guess that would work. I listen to WTF, but you're not listening. I don't know, whatever. Stupid. I just got so sidetracked. If you've even caught on to any of it, well, all right, driving forward. Anybody who is currently listening, and if you're currently listening and you feel like you need some mental help and you're going through depression or you're feeling suicidal, I actually found this thing that I wanted to share with you guys. If you text the number 741, all right? If you just text that when you're feeling depressed, you will instantly be called by a crisis intervention person for suicide prevention, obviously. I just thought that was really cool. That's good to know. Just remember those numbers, 741. If you feel like somebody's not there, you're wrong. You always got somebody there for you.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown. He is a Pittsburgh Steeler. Well, he was a Pittsburgh Steeler. I don't know who he's with now. I think the Ravens. Or the Raiders?
Raiders. I think it's the Raiders.
Yeah, maybe it's the Raiders. All right, so he is he's a little baby from what I've told, actually. And he currently is, I don't know if they benched him. I don't know what they're doing with him. But he got into a pretty heated argument with a manager named Mike Mayock. They had an exchanging of words. And now they're planning on suspending him, all right? I don't know all the details. My buddy Adam hit me up and told me that I should talk about it, and that's exactly what I just did. I talked about it. We are not sports people. I don't even think our fans listen for sports, really.
In all fairness, I do know who Antonio Brown is.
Well, because he was a Steeler, wasn't he?
That's all I know, Chris.
Yeah,
I know the name.
He was a Pittsburgh Steeler.
A Pittsburgh Steeler, but...
Hey, so Charmaine, I looked up an article that actually made me think of Australia. This person, it's not a good thing to be famous for either, but there was this vegan who decided to press a lawsuit against her neighbors for having cookouts. She felt like they were using their cookouts as like a...
sabotaging her backyard.
Yeah, I can't even go outside because all I can smell is this good food. You know what I mean?
Well, she didn't say good food.
No,
because
definitely
she's a vegan, obviously.
And I support vegan. I support everybody, man.
I do too.
So,
but when you are mad because your neighbors are barbecuing, it's kind of ridiculous. I'm sorry. I mean, that's a normal thing we do, is go outside and barbecue food.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pastime. That's what, you can be Australian, you could be American, you could be anything.
Unless you have some weird feud thing. If you ever seen those freaking vengeance neighbor killers, maybe, but I don't know. Barbecuing doesn't seem like something people would do to get back at you. But who knows?
All right, a little bit of the hip-hop news. Young Jeezy. I'm going to give it to you, man. I'm not a big Jeezy fan. I am not. But your last album, TM104, fucking banger. It really
I have not listened to it yet.
It is a banger. And it's so hard to even, in this day and age, it's really hard to go up against certain people. He came in at number 4, and I don't flaw him for that because he was up against Taylor Swift, and that's like a fucking cult, okay? So if you even came close to beating Taylor Swift, or even being on the same level, that's awesome. A little bit more about in music. What's that fucking 6ix9ine? What's his deal?
His manager.
Shoddy.
Shoddy. Oh, let's see. I wrote it down, and of course I don't have it right at my fingertips. Sorry. Well, that's his last name. Kidono Shoddy. I think that's his, stage name.
15 years.
Yeah, he got sentenced to 15 years.
What do you think's going on with 6ix9ine? You think he's, ever getting out?
Well, I feel like he's going to be doing some time, but it's probably going to be reduced because he's cooperating with the, I can't even think right now. I don't know.
Cooperating with the feds.
Oh.
Snitch. You guys might have just heard Danny bump her her microphone.
I talk with my hands.
Yeah.
So.
Something. What, are you Greek? Has something to do with something to do with your
Polish,
background.
German.
That's funny. I'm married to her for how long, and I'm just now asking her that. What? Post Malone dropped a really. I've only listened to a couple tracks, but this might be probably the best Post Malone album out there. It's really hard for me to stay caught up on music because I only listen to what I listen to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like Danny, she only listens to what she listens to. We both listen to like Bryce Vine. We both listen to, which was his last album, Carnival, phenomenal.
Yeah, that was good.
Hotel Diablo is pretty heavy in our rotation right now.
Yep.
That's one of the realest MGK CDs out there. That Cal Scrooby, awesome shit. Even though Bob, fuck you, man. What you said about him last night, that really makes me think that you don't trust my judgment.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, he sounds like a SoundCloud rapper. But he doesn't. He doesn't really sound like a SoundCloud rapper. I really don't want to put him in that bubble. Tom McDonald recently dropped a song called Ashes on YouTube, and it's fucking garbage. And it really is. It has nothing to do with me hating him anymore. I think he's trying to like ride that wave that MGK's created with the whole rock rap.
I didn't care for it either. But no, it's not because Chris is my husband. I have my own opinion.
It was just horrible. It didn't say like he tried to rap with a heavy rock instrumental, like just super fucking heavy. So it wasn't that great.
Sorry, guys.
Let's see. T.I., Freeway, Rick Ross, and more discuss snitching on Expeditiously podcast. So go check that out. It's a really good conversation because everybody knows how even you don't have to be a gangster to know that snitching is very heavily frowned upon.
Not saying that.
Don't do it.
I mean,
but yeah,
we're not about that lifestyle. I'm not gonna say snitches get oh shoot, I hit it again.
Snitches do not get stitches. Not in my lifetime.
I'm not about that life.
Let's see, Demi Lovato. There was a big article about how she was in a bikini, and she made this post about how she feels, She feels embarrassed that she ever, what is that called? Like, where you like Photoshop? Is that what it is?
Yeah, photoshopped out her
body.
Cellulite. Yeah.
So now she's rocking a natural look, and that's cool.
It should be. I don't understand how these young girls. I mean, I'm one of them.
The pressure to not be yourself is so fucking real. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So I'm on the side of pushing for natural beauty. There's
realistic is the words I say because honestly, if you look at the pictures, the models, there is not one flaw.
Isn't there CVS maybe? Somebody refuses to put like a Photoshop picture. Somebody refuses to touch up their models, and that's cool because, like she said, realistic. All right, there's nothing more beautiful than natural. Mm-hmm. That's how you were made, man. Don't be ashamed of who you are. YG and Kalani secretly been dating for how long?
I don't know, but
and that's crazy, man. That is not a couple that I saw get. I did not see that happening.
YG is pretty gangster.
YG is hood, man. He is. There's no doubt about it. This dude, listen to his music. He straight up. I ain't no athlete. I ain't running. I be gunning. So yeah, YG, man. That's she might be hood too. I don't know much about her. She was on Good Life with G-Eazy. G-Eazy and YG, man, some of their tracks are probably the coolest tracks you'll ever hear. Not much going on in the hip-hop world. Not much going on in the world, really. The hurricane. People are still recovering from the hurricane, and we're there with you, man. Yeah. You need anything, email. We would do our best. I'm all about trying to get back to people who need help, not the people who
want to pretend to need help. Yeah. I mean,
that's just absurd.
I'm glad Dorian missed most of the United States. I know the Carolinas got hit a little bit, but the Bahamas really got hit with the worst of it. So just thinking about everyone.
Without Dave, this is gonna be weird, man. Because I planned this interview with Skrizzly Adams.
Yeah.
And
I like Skrizzly Adams, but
so this might be an interview that Danny and I do with Skrizzly Adams, and that's cool because I've even texted him and told him like, dude, my wife's got some questions for you. And now my wife's just going to be able to ask him, herself. Dance with Darkness, guys. I want you guys to go check that track out.
Yeah.
I want you to check out the song he just put out with Chris Webby. It's called Flawed. Really fucking cool song. You will definitely resonate with you. It will resonate with you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sitting here at 59 minutes. Anything you want to talk about before we hop off, Danny?
No, I'm surprised I made it this long. Honestly.
I am. I want.
He's been warning me like the last 2 days. You got to do a whole podcast. You can't give up.
I want you guys to give me your feedback.
Yeah.
I actually like having a female's perspective on things. I think this could go into be something great.
But you can also tell Chris or myself I suck. I mean, it's not going to hurt my feelings. I'm not as soft-hearted.
You don't hit me up and say my wife sucks.
You can tell me secretly.
You can't tell her secretly. She doesn't have access to any of the socials.
Chris just tells me what goes on. So if you wanted to, you don't need to hit me up. You can hit Chris up and tell him I suck.
To the guy that emailed us, man, I know that
we feel for you.
You didn't want that answer. I know that's not what you wanted to hear. You wanted me to tell you it's going to be all right, take her back, but I can't, dude.
We can't.
I can't. In good faith, I know that you're better off without her. You know that you're better off without her.
But that is ultimately your choice. We are just giving feedback.
Right. No, yeah. I'm not like you know from previous episodes, we are not, medically whatever. We're not, this is just our opinion. We're here to give you our opinion. We're not
giving you an expert's opinion. We're just giving you a husband and wife's opinion.
If you go forward and you take her back, this will weigh heavy on the rest of your relationship.
But if you do, that's your decision. Don't
no
let
doubt.
Chris sway you.
So what? All right, but yeah, I apologize for not
Chris.
giving you the advice you wanted.
You're done.
All right, so Danny.
Yes.
I introduced Today I Learned last week. Or a couple weeks ago actually, and people actually are taking well to this Today I Learned. I'm gonna have a jingle made up for you guys by my man 216. It's kind of cool. It's gonna be like on Today I Learned.
Oh, Jesus.
something pretty cool like that. So what is your Today I Learned?
Well, I don't know. Probably everyone's heard of George Clooney, but...
Who's that?
Are you kidding me?
Nah, I'm fucking...
But he once gave 14 of his closest friends, pretty much the ones that are before he was famous, each $1 million in cash, and even paid their taxes on it for them under one condition. They all had to take it, or none of them got the million.
Could you imagine being the one friend who just
doesn't take it?
If you just fucked 13 people out of $1 million bucks.
I mean, I would be I don't know.
With arms wide open, come on over, George Clooney. I will gladly accept $1 million. Let's face it, man. Money is a very that's the driving factor in the world. People need money,
and unfortunately, it is. So.
And if you're the one guy who fucked 13 people out of $1 million bucks, you're no longer my friend, man. All right, so my Today I Learned. Weird Al Yankovic asked the publishers of the Kinks, the song called Lola. Yeah, all right. Yeah. All right. Actually, I was just thinking of Eric Clapton. Lola is hello, hello, Lola.
Oh, that's what I thought you were singing.
Yeah, no, I was thinking Layla. Or I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, it's L-O-L-A, Lola. All right, cool. So he asked them whether songwriter Ray Davies would allow his parody. His parody was Yoda. And he got a negative response. Years later, 5 years later to be exact, Ray told, whenever he met Weird Al, he told him that he had actually never been asked. He had never been asked that Weird Al wanted him to, sign off on this parody. And then he allowed him to do it. So that's weird that just because somebody doesn't push the word up, you stop creative content. I'm not a fan of permissions. I'm not a fan of any of that. I think that art is made for you to use and interpret as you please. J. Cole said it best. Stop with these restrictions on samples. People should be allowed to use their art for however they want. That's it, guys. You made it to the end.
Pretty long.
Not too long. As always, this is What the Fuck, Danny and Chris. Well, that's when Dave would be like, it's Weekly Talk featuring Danny and Chris. All right, so let's do this again. As always, this is What the Fuck, Danny and Chris.
Weekly Talk featuring
Danny and Chris. All right, guys. It's been fun. It's been real. Come back. Oh, subscribe. Yeah, remember, subscribe, follow, like,
and don't
email, tweet. Don't unsubscribe. Boy, I'll unsubscribe you faster than you unsubscribe me. Hit us up, guys. We want to talk to you. We want to know how everything was. And let me know how this episode was. All right, later.
daveandchris@gmail.com.